Hello, my name is Olga Nestorova, known as Honest Press across the socials. In today's What's Actually True moment, we will dissect and discuss who are these 59 Afrikaans, the South Africans who have arrived today on American soil. So, first things first, NPR did report that the first group of white South African refugees arrived in the US on Monday under President Trump's executive order mandating that they will be prioritized for resettlement. In times when all other refugee programs are largely on hold. The 59 Afrikaners, descendants of mainly Dutch colonists, underwent expedited reviews that took months, were brought to the US on a government-chartered flight, meaning paid by you and I, and were greeted at the DC airport, and this is how it looked like. And let's wait a minute here. So they're waiting for somebody to greet them. I don't know about you, but I'm an immigrant myself. I never had any deputy, secretary of state, or homeland security greet me on the tarmac or actually fly me on your dime here. But maybe I'm one of those unlucky ones. But first, we need to understand who are these people. And for that, we need to dig into the South Africa and apartheid from 1940s to 1964. So as Africans were moving to self-rule elsewhere on the continent, whites in South Africa were determined that they would maintain their way of life, which to them meant maintaining power. Whites in South Africa were roughly 20% of South Africa's population. Asians, and here mainly we're speaking about Indians, were roughly 2%. Blacks were about 70%. And those classified as mixed race, about 8%. Now, mainly or many of those more conservative whites, largely farmers of Dutch descent, saw God as having given them the land of South Africa, and they saw no reason to surrender that gift to others. And those are the descendants, those are the white Afrikaans that arrived here today. Now, why do we call Afrikaans? What is that? That is actually the language that they do speak. Afrikaans language is a West Germanic language of South Africa, developed from 17th century Dutch, sometimes also called Netherlandic, by the descendants of European colonists. And essentially, if you do speak Dutch, I studied in the Netherlands, so at least I speak a little, understand a lot. You can understand and speak Afrikaans. So this is the language they brought with them. Now, aside from the greeting that I'm going to show you, and it's a stunner, trust me, in a second, they also were welcomed by the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, via a tweet. And he said, as President Trump assured, Afrikaners fleeing persecution are welcomed in the United States. The South African government has treated these people terribly, threatening to steal their private land and subjected them to wild racial discrimination. The Trump administration is proud to offer them refuge in our great country. I want us to also pay attention to what is actually eliminated when we speak about immigration at this point in time, which is May 12th, 2025. So Trump has paused the resettlement of tens of thousands of refugees who'd already been vetted and approved to relocate to the United States, including as many as 15,000 Afghans. Now, he ended humanitarian parole for immigrants from Cuba, Haiti, Venezuela, Nicaragua, leaving more than 500,000 already living here in legal limbo. Now, he also launched his promised effort to round up and remove millions of unauthorized immigrants, starting with those accused of violent crimes, though less than half of approximately 8,200 people arrested from January 20th through February 2nd so far have criminal convictions, now according to government data obtained by ProPublica and the Texas Tribune. Half of them. Now, we can also make the case and say, oh, it's white people. But, Ukrainians, last time I checked in the mirror, are white. And Ukrainians who are currently here on TPS, temporary protected status, also have lost that status. That's why they're seeking, a place to live or where to go to. Although in order to immigrate here under the TPS, you have to show that you either have enough money and you're not going to be on Americans' dime, or you have a legal sponsor and they had to sign their affidavit and give their social security number and access to their financial data to, prove that they will be paying for you, or will be paying in case you need a medical procedure or anything of that kind. So these people are legally here. They paid over $1,500 to even get here legally and have the documents and visas and everything processed. They have work permits. They have permits to be here and stay here. And then, yes, now they are losing their status. 300,000 Venezuelans have lost their TPS status, and now, according to our current administration, are sort of illegally here. So while all of that is happening, we're prioritizing these people. So what is special about these people, right? That's sort of what I'm asking, because at the same time, Trump introduced this. So he did declare national emergency at the border. He did halt refugee admissions. He ended catch and release. He made asylum seekers wait in Mexico for U.S. hearings. He promoted third country asylum agreements. He promoted DNA testing of some immigrants. He expanded who is targeted for deportation. He focused Homeland Security investigations on immigrant enforcement, expansion of expedited removal, put pressure on countries to take back deportees, created an office to assist victims of crimes committed by immigrants. He limited temporary protected status, as I told you, increased scrutiny of work permits, targeted sanctuary jurisdictions, information sharing, denied public benefits to unauthorized migrants, put travel bans, speaks about denaturalizing U.S. citizens, promoted expulsion based on public health concerns, deployed military troops to the border, built border barriers, also promoted land acquisition for border barriers, ramped up criminal prosecutions of people crossing the border illegally, expanded detention, promoted local cooperation for immigration enforcement, increased immigration agent hiring, and enhanced vetting. Some of Trump's measures have never been tried, like, for instance, ending the birthright citizenship. Others, if implemented, would push the powers of the presidency much, much further. So, now, back to the video. They're greeted by two gentlemen. Because they're filmed from the back, and then whoever filmed that, which is C-SPAN, walks all around to catch the faces, I'm going to introduce these people to you first. So first one is the 23rd United States Deputy Secretary of State, Christopher Landau, who, by the way, himself was born in Madrid, Spain, where his father, George Landau, later United States ambassador to Chile and Venezuela and Paraguay, was then stationed with the Foreign Service. His father, who was Jewish, was born in Vienna and fled to South America after the Nazi annexation of Austria in 1938. And he is raised Catholic. So he would need to know what actually prosecution is and being a refugee and running away, right? At least from his parents. Another gentleman who's greeting these people who are flown here on our dime is Deputy Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, Troy Edgar. Troy Edgar is from Los Alamitos in California. He served as the United States Navy and received bachelor's and master's degrees in business from University of South California. Edgar owns Global Conductor Construction Corporation and Global Conductor Inc. Take a look here. Our Deputy Secretary of State and Homeland Security are coming up.
Welcome to the United States of America. It is such an honor for us to receive you here today. This is the land of the free, and we know that all of you have faced. I'm Chris Landau. First of all, let me introduce myself. I'm the Deputy Secretary of State of the United States. This is my friend Troy Edgar.
Yeah, I'm the Deputy Secretary of Homeland Security. And again, welcome. So great to have you guys here.
I know you've gone through a long flight. I cannot believe there are babies and children who are actually so well behaved. This is much better than mine are. So bless you for that.
With balloons and flags and everything.
I think it's so happy. It makes me so happy to see you with our flag in your hands, and that flag symbolizes liberty for so many of us. Many of us, our families, have had a journey not that different from the journey that you are embarking on.
I think
today.
quite different.
My own father was born in Europe and had to leave his country when Hitler came in the 1930s, and made his way to South America first and then eventually to the United States. So he is an immigrant who actually, was able to benefit from the many blessings of this country. And one of the reasons that I really wanted to go and work for the government is because I wanted to give back to this country that really brought freedom to my family.
Okay, freedom to his family. Kumbaya. Now let's dig deeper. Truth Out reported. This is today. Trump is bending the refugee program to fit his white nationalist agenda. Trump is using the baseless claim of white genocide promoted by the likes of Elon Musk to grant asylum of Afrikaners. Now, how did Musk start this propaganda, if you will? Well, there was a meeting by a South African movement that is composed of Black South Africans. And they have a song, and the song is called Kill the Boer, how you pronounce it in Afrikaans. So Al Jazeera talked about that song, sharing a link to a video of economic freedom fighters, the EFF leader Julius Malema, singing this song at a rally on Friday. Musk expressed his anger, right, about these people claiming that they are chanting about killing white people. And then US President Donald Trump, who counts on Musk as close ally, shared that screenshot on Truth Social, and then Secretary of State Rubio penned his own tweet denouncing the song as a chant that incites violence, urging the South African government to protect Afrikaner and other disfavored minorities, and reiterating an invitation to Afrikaners to settle in the US. Which then on February 7th was followed by Donald Trump signing this executive order offering asylum to white Afrikaners and cutting aid to South Africa. The U.S. said it made the decision after Pretoria signed a law allowing the government to expropriate land in the public interest under exceptional circumstances and over the genocide case South Africa brought against Israel at the International Court of Justice. This is connected to this issue. Let's continue. The minority Afrikaner community are descendants of mainly Dutch colonial settlers, what I explained to you earlier, who formalized the segregationist system of apartheid in 1948. Under apartheid, whites were legally able to seize land and resources from majority Black population, who were largely relegated to far-off Bantustans, segregated homelands, or overcrowded, ill-equipped townships. So essentially, these people from 1948 were allowed to take land away from the Black population, which then explained sort of that song. Meanwhile, the leader of that group that I mentioned to you, the EFF, right? That's what it is? Yes, EFF, the leader Julius Malema said that this song has nothing to do with killing white people, at least for now. He was sort of like half joking, but like being stunned as how this was used for this type of executive order promotion on social media. Also, the leader of South Africa, right? He says persecution of South Africa's whites is false narrative, president says, as Musk repeats genocide claim. And this was on March 24th. And of course, Africa did suffer from this aid and support that America did cut as a result of this song and promotion and everything that resulted from it. This is an interesting fact that data shown that 73% of privately owned land in South Africa is white owned, despite white people comprising about only 7% of the population. In corporate South Africa, white individuals occupy 62% of top management positions, while 17% of leadership roles are held by Black managers. Despite this, experts said small groups of white South Africans, emboldened by right-wing lobbying groups, have been championing a narrative in the U.S. in recent years that Afrikaners are once under threat. At the rally outside the U.S. Embassy, speakers urged attendees to make South Africa great again, echoing Trump's Make America Great Again MAGA rhetoric. Other participants spoke of being on an anti-woke mission, aligning with broader global narratives surrounding identity and nationalism. So, to round up what's actually true based on this research and our chronology, what we have explored now, we can guesstimate or estimate that these people are nationalistic, they're in support of the MAGA movement. Certainly we can guesstimate who they would be voting for once they're allowed. I know they're refugees, so they don't have citizenship or rights to vote yet, but we do know who and what they will support if it were to come to showing that support publicly. Now, let's finish the video.
I know that this is going to be, any adjustment in life, any change takes a while to get used to. But I want you all to know that you are really welcome here and that we respect what you have had to deal with these last few years. We respect the long tradition of your people. And I am sure that you will be successful. It's, as you know, a lot of you, I think, are farmers, right? When you have quality seeds, you can put them in foreign soil and they will blossom.
A lot of you are farmers. A lot of you are from that colonialism times. A lot of you are Afrikaners and speak Afrikaans because you are settlers from that Dutch population. A lot of you are used to taking away land. And that's why the majority of you have owned the majority of land, even though you were only 7% of the population. Stunning.
We are excited to welcome you here to our country where we think you will bloom, and we will hopefully allow you to have fulfilling lives for your children, and then we will bloom and we will benefit alongside you. So thank you very much for coming here.
I'd like to add, again, on behalf of President Trump, Secretary Noem, we're just so grateful that you guys are here. Everybody within DHS, we've been so excited to be able to get you guys here to process, to vet, everything, so you guys get a really warm start. After all I was tracking your flight, 12 hours that you were last night. I'm like, oh my God. So thank you for just the patience of being able to get here. Very similar to Chris, as our Secretary Landau, is that my wife came from Iran. Same thing, persecution from Christianity. And
Same thing, persecution. Incredible. Anyway, this has been our What's Actually True moment. In the comments, let me know, do you agree with me? Do you agree with my research? Do you have questions? Also, today I attended the Council on Foreign Affairs in New York featuring a conversation comparing current America with 90s Russia or Soviet Union. So I encourage you to read it. It's on our website and also in the description of this episode. So please go ahead and read. And tonight will be also our Monday edition of the news briefing, which I hope you will be reading. This is free and I encourage you to do so and subscribe. Like this video, share this video, subscribe so I can inform you about other incredibly stunning things that will be coming in today or tomorrow or anytime. All right. Thank you so much for watching.